Hey guys, it's me. As I had promised, I'm coming on tonight because I wanted to talk about higher selves. I said that if I did find my prop that I was going to make this video, so here I am. Basically what we're going to learn today, I'm going to do different edits so that you guys can see different things, but I'm going to be talking about what is a higher self, what is the best explanation I can give you as to what it is. What I know about it personally from channeling, and please know that I'm not going to say to you like I'm the end all be all to do with higher selves, but I do channel a lot with my higher selves, so I'm going to give you the best description I can when it comes to a higher self. So also I'm going to talk about them dimensionally, also from what I can gather as to how they work in terms of a galactic sense. And here we go. So the first thing I'm going to let you know is that a higher self is you. Okay. And what this means is that basically, if you can understand that you are a frequency, I know this is going to sound weird because not only are we energy, we are also, we resonate at a frequency. That's a good way of putting it. We resonate at a frequency. Like we have a channel or a dial point on, you know, the spectrum, let's say, of like a radio. If you were to turn, you know, the knob, you would go through all of the channels. You yourself have a resonance that connects you to all of your higher selves. You guys, we all in the stream resonate at the same frequency. I hope that makes sense. So that's why you can interconnect on your stream. Because the thing is that it's like you know how to call out to your own frequency, therefore your resonance. Kind of if you think about it like when you are totally healthy, you're in homeostasis. So like in a sense, you kind of give off a reverberation of, you resonate health. So like in the same way, I would say that you have a resonance that interconnects you with all of your higher,s but they are still you. And in the same way that they are still you, they also hold a, what's the best way I could put this? They also hold a aspect of yourself that you currently possess. So if you could think of it as multiple aspects all intertwined together. I hope this makes sense. So the next thing I'm going to show you, because I think this prop makes a lot of sense. People always say like, oh, are your higher physically higher? And the answer to me, what I'm going to tell you is yes. But at the same time, they are still you. And this is the best way I can describe how this all works. So if you give me a second, I'm going to show you. So as you can see here, I'm going to give you an example. You see how you have, let's just call this your 2D. Then there's your 3D. Then there's your 4D, 5D, 6D, and so on and so forth. Usually most people can be interconnected into the 12D would be the farthest. And if you look inside of here, let's just say that this is you, right? Currently in 3D. These turning factors, okay, in here, I would say is the galactic pathway that a density holds. Density and dimension are different. So you may be, let's say if it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8D, let's just say for example, there would be different galaxies all on this circle in a sense. And if you look at it this way, it's about space. Okay? But what I will say, and I hope this doesn't confuse people, is that if you see this way, right? Let's just say we're dealing with it with you. You as this little itty bitty person inside of this larger container. So what the thing is that even though it's space going vertically, it's also going taller. So in a sense, this would be your broadband. I hope that hasn't lost you guys yet, but that's the best way I can describe how it works interdimensionally, and also how planets and galaxies within our own dimension can cohabitate in the same space, even though they, in essence, are taller or are higher, if that makes sense. And now I'm going to go back into my board and I'll help you guys there. So, with that said, I hope I haven't lost you guys. Now, if you are trying to connect to your higher self, the best way I would say, like I said, was that whole harmonizing thing. Because I have used bowls, but you can do it. You have your own frequency, like I've said. If you can get to know in meditation what your own frequency sounds like, that buzzing sound that is innate to you, we all have it. Like, for example, they say that that sound is the frequency sound of God. I'm not doing it perfectly, but you get my drift. So you yourself have your own resonance, your own frequency, and if you spend enough time meditating, you can start to play around and understand what yours is. And once you do that, you can even start to ask questions. Now, what I will say for higher, so that you can kind of decipher if you're dealing with a higher versus a guide, and depending on the dimension you're speaking with, they can seem human-esque up to a certain point, but the higher you go, they start to be very devoid of duality, and they also will ask you questions that are solely for development. Okay, so they're never going to persuade you. They're never going to tell you what to do. If, let's say, you said to them, what should I do about this new job? The questions they would pose to you would be like, is this job the most prosperous action you can be taking at this time? And they'll pose you questions so that you can open your mind to certain ideas, or to actually feel out the situation versus telling you what to do. Now, if you get an energy around you that is telling you what to do, most likely you've kicked it down dimensionally, and or you're working with an energy that is not of a higher intent. So please keep that in mind. They should never be telling you what to do. Okay guys, so this is my board. I know it looks like a big mess, but I'm going to do my best to put maybe the words up or just work with me. So basically, as you can see here, I have done a version of you. This is your 3D self, okay? Now, what I have right over to the side here, which would be left side, is, right side is the 4D version. Now, you have to understand that there are different realms, like I tried to explain with my little, the spinning version. There's different realms that associate within one density. So you will know that 4D has multiple layers. If you want to think about it like an onion, there's multiple layers within that one dimension. But I would say that you have the most, and the reason why I drew 2 circles is because you have to think of yourself also as energy. So you have a field around you, and so does your dimensional self in whatever capacity. And when you do kind of interconnect on your stream, I always think that my stream is like from here, my solar plexus area, but I could even say where the belly button is. That might make more sense. But it can go up all the way from your base up. It just depends on where you feel it. But we do have an auric field that is around us. I would say it depends on the person, but we can expand it or minimize it. So we will collide the most in terms of a field, like a meshing or a bounce off, most with our 4D self. And that's why in dream time you tend to go to your 4D, one of the layers of that dimension when you go to sleep. Now the next one is 5D. For my interactions, like for example, one of the people I'm going to mention, or these are the galactics that I was mentioning. You'll find usually reptilians, greys, Torinos, GFL, Arcturian lower, lower representations of Arcturians and Dracos in the 5D. At least that's what I've interacted with so far. 60, I've seen Anunnaki, Mantoids, and the Sirians in 6. 7, I've seen Angelics, Pleiadians, and Vegans. 8, I have not had much interaction yet. So I'm not very sure yet. But I will get back to you. This is what I've gotten so far. I'm going to continue, you know, downloading and trying to connect. So I hope the next time I do this, it's even better. You know what I mean? 9, Lyran. Lyrans are displaced in different dimensions. They're actually one of the highest. Because there's 12D, but there's higher. I've seen Lyrans on even higher dimensions than this, but the first time I would say that I started to see them was around 9, and they tended to either co-bred or bred with avian races, or intermingled a lot with avian races. There is one other thing I want to say about Sirians. They go through several dimensions, and the ones I've at least interacted with, some of them, they tend to be, they reminded me of the Ferengi. Not how they looked, but like their whole like seafaring trading style. So I did want to mention that. The reason why I say that is because anyways, avians 90. 10D, I've seen dragons start there. At least that's what I've figured out so far. I haven't I've gotten to see, but I've never interacted as much as I should. I haven't embodied, because you have to understand that if you do connect with your higher self of any of these dimensions, right, you, like I said, that frequency will line up, right, line up. And the thing is that if you are privied, you can start to vibrate, raise, and that's why it's like if you have your eye on, right, which I'm trying to successfully do, because then I would have way more clearance in these regions. I'm just privy to what they show me. So I know that I've seen 10D with dragons. 11D again, Lyrans, Arcturians, but Arcturian, that's the highest I've seen so far, is 11D. So I'm saying that Arcturians are down here too. So from what I've seen, it's like 5, 7, 9, 11 Arcturians, but 5 was the lowest I've seen for them. And when it comes to 12D, from what I've interacted with, there's avatars there, archangels, some higher cedar races. There is no duality in 12D, so that's the difference. All between here is duality. So there's light, dark, this, that, the other thing. Same here. Okay, like I said, we are also turning. Just give me a second. So let's just say, for example, right, this is the 12D sense, right? You can go lower, but you can't go higher, okay, unless you evolve. So as a race gets more, like, they go through the trials, the duality, just like I'm spinning this, right? They go through their ages, they can cycle up, just like we can as a race, to a next dimension. So I'm saying, like, the 12D is one of the higher, like, where it stops having duality, and then you go to more of an etheric sense of self, okay? And where you will find, like, goddesses, like even Greco or Roman goddesses, I know this sounds weird, but I'm saying this from experience. You'll find those guys there. Let's see, avatars, archangels, high cedar races. So even, for example, dragons, right? If you go, like I said, 10 was the lowest, but they also can keep going higher. And 12, I've seen dragons in 12. So it's like a cohabitation type of deal. But that's the best way I could describe it so far. And as it goes up, I have interacted with some higher in higher dip, but basically it's I don't know how to phrase this. It's like a continuation of 12. It's like the overseeing of regions, or let's say even space changes, and some, like, you would be overseeing the mechanics. It's like the mechanics, like for example, Metatron would be able to go higher as well, simply because he is part of the fundamental mechanics of in capturing knowledge and data. So there has to be like some type of raising, because even in the etheric, you are still formulating data and growth and life, etc. So I hope I haven't lost all of you so far. So what I had down here, I'm going to bring this up. Okay, so like I said, resonance connects all hires on a broadband. So your frequency is within a broadband. And the way I can describe the broadband, like I said, let's say you see these little squiggly things, they're all the same. That's all your frequency within, okay, within the cup, right? Your frequency will be here, here. Like, just imagine if there was layers. You would have your own band, your own frequency going through each level of density. So you would have your own frequency or resonance that interconnected within that larger broadband. Ergo, the broadband. The broadband would be like from here to here. But you have to understand the densities within this, okay? There are portals that can connect between, between densities. The reason being is, like I said, because we're all kind of like, even galaxies, it's like they can all, oh man, this is like so hard to explain, but it's like, in a sense, like, it's like, okay, the galaxies can spin. Like, let's say there was like 9 galaxies on one ring, okay, and they all spin. They will end up aligning with other galaxies in the next ring. And let's say, for example, those 2 galaxies align. Even though they're in different densities, when that alignment happens, that broadband opens up, okay? And when the broadband opens up, you can potentially try to migrate through the densities. I hope I haven't lost you guys, but just the way it works here with our seasons, with our star constellation alignments, and the effect it has on the planet is the same that galaxies have upon other galaxies within a density, which has multiple layers of dimensions. Did I get you that time? Maybe. And then, let's see. I've been told that there's 9 realms within each one of these circles. There's 9. I'm not exactly sure if that's correct, but so far that's what I know. There's 9 realms. And if you want to call realms galaxies, we could do that too, because it's like, you have to understand, they're adding, it's like looking inside of a marble. It looks like there's a galaxy floating within that marble. And that's the thing, like a realm, right? It's a marble, right? But I'm a human. I can hold the marble in my hand, right? In a sense, I can hold the galaxy in my hand. So the thing is that the encompassment of a galaxy is not what's important. It's that its energetic broadband, so to speak, like I said again, right, is on the same wheel, okay? And again, when the wheels match up with each other, okay, let's say different galaxies on different densities can line up. It's not the same as dimensions. Okay, so I think I figured out how to explain this as best as I can. Your dimensional selves, your higher selves are residing in different space times. Now, for example, a 7th density being may be in space, correct? But at the same time, when you interconnect on your line, your 7D is maybe, let's just say, half a meter higher. Every dimension is half a meter higher than you, roughly. Or maybe even a foot higher than you. So when my 12 and I interact on my stream, my 12, okay, seems about, the best I could describe this, and I use this as a tree. Okay, so let's say a very tall pine. My 12D, when it shows up on my stream, as high as a tall pine. So the imagining is like, if I'm here at the base of this tall pine, you could go up about half, like exactly how I drew it, kind of, right? 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D is at the top. Now the thing is that is not physically where they are, okay, in space. Like they're actually like somewhere totally different. But when they actually align in your stream in the body, I don't even want to say body, the essence of energy that they possess, or yeah, I guess it's a body. It's an energetic, etheric body. They will be taller than you. But the thing is that they're not exactly existing in that short amount of space. Like, for example, like your 11D or your 9D will be out in space. So technically they cannot be, that short. But with this model, they can. Okay, because the thing is that you see how this all works, right? Like I'm in space. I put myself in here, right? If you look inside of this, right, this little itty bitty thing is shorter than the actual height of this entire thing. So in that sense, it would be as tall as a tree. But then in essence, in the micro sense, your 12 would be here in a different existence of space. But for some reason, when they move into your stream, they are not, they're higher, but they're not as what you would temporally understand in the sense of higher. Because we are under the illusion that space is up, which it is. But the thing is that space is also here at the same time. It's like as if I said we are a marble, because it's like we're just a floating energy. I know that sounds so hard to believe, but it's that, yes, we are matter, right? At least that's what we perceive in this suit. On a channel of frequency. So not only am I a channel of frequency, the world and the planet I live on is a channel of frequency, a collective frequency or broadband of, I guess you could see it as a woven blanket of energy. Okay, like I said back here, woven blanket of energy. So it's a field, okay? And the thing is that it's going this way. Yet, at the same time, we are under the illusion of height because we're in the material. But as energetics, it's more like we just like mesh out like vertically. Sorry, horizontally. Oh man, this is even, as I'm saying this all out to you guys, I'm like, wow, I wonder who's actually going to catch on to what I'm saying. But this is the best I can describe what I'm saying. And the reason why I'm saying that it's all right here is, for example, like I said, the other side in terms of your passed on loved ones, they are in this same space, okay? Different channel, okay? Different channel. You just need to tune yourself to the frequency of that realm, right? And if you can do that, then you can bring them forward towards you, and if you have the eyes to see, you can see them. Now also at the same time, why I say that ships
okay, can be in the same space as us too. Believe that. It takes a lot of raising, really a lot of raising, but it's possible to bring a ship within this space. I think I'm gonna lose some people here, but that's the truth as I've seen it. You can bring a full-blown ship, and it's because of the resonance. Okay, so like phasing in and out, phasing in. That's a better way. They don't land, they phase into this existence. They phase into the channel that you're currently at, but at the same time, you have to vibrate or raise high enough to meet them, to bring them into your space, if that makes any sense. I hope I haven't lost you. But that is how much I've learned so far about higher selves. Now, the thing is about higher selves is that they are you, like I've said, and they're seeing with these guys, right? So the thing is like, let's say, for example, your higher self is here, your smaller self is here, your smaller self is here. The higher you go, the better your perception is of your current situation in terms of time frame, in terms of mapping out your energetic pattern of your choices. If you look at your choices as like a web of channels, of directions that you can take, a higher self can see kind of that web of flowing paths that you can take, and they can guide you through that weaving of a path that your life blueprint is describing. So the thing is that they'll have a more enlightened understanding of your current situation, a bird's eye view of what you're going through. So they're able to direct you in the best way forward. And that's why I said lower entities will not have this type of insight. They will work on egoic measures and just try to direct you on what to do that's in the energy's best interest, put it that way, so that you give forth energy to it. So a higher self will never ask you to do anything or make you, they will just pose things to you. They will try to direct you onto which path is the best for your soul evolution. There is no wrong, please understand that, but there is soul evolution. So let's say, for example, when you reincarnated, you came through the, utero, you wanted to learn 1 or 2 lessons, right? And the thing is that when you have this map out, let's say, for example, in a video game, right? There are multiple ways to pass a video game, but there's a best course of action that lets you get the most weapons, the most coins, the most lessons, the most prosperity, the most everything. You can do it different ways and get to the end, or not make it to the end, but there's a best way to do it, and those that are gamers will understand. I don't even play video games, and I understand this concept. So think about your life blueprint as having multiple ways out of the game, but at the same time, there's the best way to get out of the game. Maybe it's the fastest time, maybe it's just, and if you follow your higher self's intuition, and the higher you go, the more information you're going to get, because the higher the view becomes, like I said, top of the tree. There's way more. I'm just giving you an example of how it's come to my attention. But like I said, they are galactically existing. So if you guys have any questions, I will definitely try to make light and help in the best way I can. But that's what I know about hires and the correlation between them. Dimensions, density, resonance, frequency, broadband. I know I went through a lot of things, but I needed these to kind of give you guys an idea. And I hope the rest of this didn't confuse you, because it's easier when you're seeing it in your mind's eye and then trying to relay it to the world. I mean, I would have to understand really good graphics, you know what I'm saying? And actually draw you this and find videos. It's so hard to even conceive of. I'd have to go talk to whoever makes those space videos for Tyson. I'd have to be like, guys, you gotta put those universe pictures. I can't do all of that. So I'm just going to try to do what I can do, and that's it for me. I love you lots. If you do like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm not asking for much. It's a free contribution you can make. I gained 2 more followers, and you know what? I'm going to keep trying because this is what I do. So my personal life incorporates higher selves. I can connect to, as you can see, I'm still struggling with the 8, but for most of them, I've at least gotten some idea of where they are and what they do and how they can help me. So I'm not saying you even have all of these. You may only have several, and that has to do with soul evolution. So for example, as I've said, I believe before, I am from a chosen line, I guess, but not I guess, yeah, let's put it that way. Like, come on, since I was a kid, it's always been the same. But anyways, that would probably be 12D and up, because the thing is, I think we're characters from within this, and we're fractaled. We're fractaled all the way down to 3. I work highly with 7 and 12. Like, those are the 2 ones that I'm most attached to. And if you notice, the angels tend to be on hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But anyways, I hope that helps. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless, and love you lots. Bye.